this veteran of Bang who's
Hello,
been
people.
genuinely one of the best clutchers and so far one of the best
So
controller anchors
are
I've seen in Americas too.
watching
This roster, it's so
this
confusing to me when I'm thinking about their
This
group stage run,
is-
when I'm thinking about
Yeah,
how they
yeah.
performed in Americas, because on paper, individuals, they're so good. Everyone's so
checking.
phenomenal
Yeah.
at their role, and I just haven't seen them perform the way that I wanted to.
I think it's a similar story for both of these teams,
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Like, both of these
I
teams are
chose
reasonably
to
stacked. Yeah, there's
watch
some question
100
marks in some of the
Thieves
roles or in certain matchups and things like
versus
that.
Team
But,
Pirate.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm looking at 100 Thieves
Because
placements. I'm seeing a lot of 4th,
I love
5th,
100
things like that.
Thieves
I'm looking at
better
RRQ. I'm
than
seeing a lot
Edward
of 4th, 5th. They
Gaming.
just can't seem to get into the
Yeah.
top couple.
think
That
it
can
was
sometimes be where you're running into a
watching
brick wall playing the
Anthony.
very best teams, or
Yeah.
where you're running into a team that's on a
actually don't
really,
know
really
how
good run of
they
form. I think we had that in both
costume-
Pacific and Americas. You guys had Furia in kickoff
Oh,
go on a
yeah.
crazy run. We had
Although I
Nongshim go on a
think
crazy
I
run. So
bias
sometimes
is
you just run into a team that's really hot, and
100
sometimes you just run into
so I'm
one of
gonna
the
vote
old
for it.
staples that always makes top 3s and goes to international events.
Well, speaking of Furia, 100 Thieves actually beat Furia 2-0 and then moved on to beat Loud 3-0 in order to qualify for this event, which goes to show how
Let's go,
crazy
100
Americas is right now,
Thieves.
where you never know who's going to win.
Yeah.
That, and when I'm thinking of a team like MIBR, it's the same thing. Both these teams have so much potential, so much firepower. They've proven it time and time again, but they haven't been able to put up the results to show that. They haven't made it to an international.
Yeah.
And I think for this team of 100 Thieves, when you're up against Leviathan, Crew, you have G2, NRG, MIBR. It's kind of really hard, but this is the time to kind of cement yourself and show yourself as a pillar of the Americas.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see RRQ take on an Americas team. I feel like at most international
So,
events,
since
I'm
it's
used
not
to seeing
yet-
them play in
the game
EMEA. I feel like
isn't
they've played
starting yet.
Fnatic like 500 times.
Let me just
so
take me
I'm
dinner.
hoping this is going to give them a little bit of a
Eat your
different
dinners
flavor,
too.
something a little bit different at the start of this group stage, because I think both of these teams, although there's no kind of easy team in this group, in my opinion, I think both of these teams will see this opening matchup and be happy of it, looking at the other side of the bracket and seeing EDG versus BBL. Both of those
Yeah.
teams are going to be a nightmare to play. EDG's on a hot streak coming back off the back of London, and BBL is no pushover either. We already saw them earlier on in the opening Masters event of this year do quite well for themselves, have a nice little run over in EMEA. Unfortunately, Foot kind of eclipsed them a little bit this time
Yeah.
around, but these Turkish rosters, you really just cannot take them for granted.
Yeah, I'm really looking at these players. I'm obviously a little bit biased here, but for me, my prediction, personally, my prediction is that 100 Thieves is going to run away with this, but they're
Sure.
not going to take it easy. I think I'm looking kind of at a 2-1 here, personally, especially looking at the maps.
Yeah, I kind of feel like 100 Thieves is probably the favorite here as well. RRQ is a hard team to root for at the best of times.
Damn, you're not even loyal to your
Domestically,
teams.
they
That's
are
crazy.
very, very good. Internationally, they always struggle, and I've watched all of their games internationally. It has caused me great pain.
At least they've made it to international.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we can have a conversation about maybe if 100 Thieves would have done a little bit better or not. Been a while since we saw 100 Thieves win Americas. For RRQ, at least, you could only need to go back a couple of stages, and they've already taken a title for themselves. So, look, maybe they're not necessarily making it into the top couple. Part of that is down to, T1 super team, Nongshim going on a little bit of run. Paper X is always just good. It's a hard, tussle to make it into the top couple of Pacific. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Looking at these maps, at least. So we've got Ascent first. That is RRQ's pick. Then 100 Thieves. They've gone and picked Breeze, which I'm actually surprised about. I don't know how you feel about this, but seeing that RRQ hasn't had the best of success on Breeze, and seeing that 100 Thieves has done phenomenal, essentially, every time they've played Breeze, I'm really surprised that they let that through.
I think that Breeze is going to be a bit of a false dichotomy for 100 Thieves, in my opinion. I think that RRQ, the whispers are that RRQ has been very good on Breeze. In some of the officials, maybe it hasn't gone their way. In Kickoff in particular, they were the team in the upper bracket game, and they lost 3 best of 5s in a row to be kicked out of Kickoff and not make it to the opening Masters tournament of this year. And they lost every time on Breeze. Since then, they have kind of mixed things up. I like the fact that they're kind of playing the KO Harbor comp at the moment. I think it allows them to mid-round quite nicely. I like the way that they play the KO. So I think it is quite a good map for them. I want to see if they rejig things a little bit, though, in terms of their comp in particular when we head through onto Breeze, because previously they did have Monyet playing the Harbor. He was okay on it, a little bit up and down, but Zan mixed into this roster is definitely a neon
King of
guy, and
spam?
Jemkin is not a neon
do you
guy. He
mean?
kind of just fills neon when
Yeah.
they need to. So I'm wondering which one of those two things is going to take priority, or whether they'll actually just move in a completely different direction and start playing double duelist again. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Jet
Yeah,
neon
same
from RRQ.
here. We can co-stream this. Oh my god, what happened to my internet? Oh, we have commercial break. What happened, bro? To view the stream while it's open chat. Okay. Oh, so there's an ad. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's still 1 minute for the ad. Just wait.
A rest, and we'll be back
Okay, we're
with
back.
map 1 of 100 Thieves and RRQ right after this.
Did you hear it? Sorry, I was like,
One insert and rank is 3.5. What's this? Okay.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
I think it's crazy. Our fan base is like really huge in France. I think most of the people like already saw some events we did. So I'm pretty happy to be here. We missed out on Champs Paris last year. It's good for us to have an international event that we can play in front of our crowd, you know. I don't know if it's stress, but it's like, it's a good pressure that we have. We of course want to represent the country of our org. Also, like, I grew up in Paris, like it's a special city for me. So there is a lot of story about it.
We're extremely excited. We cannot wait for this opportunity. Obviously, we need to get out of groups first, but that's like even extra motivation for us to meet them all. It's our organization home country, home city, you know, so that's one of the biggest goals for us for sure.
Feels good to play here, of course, because Vitality French org and we're in France now, so it will be really fun to get into playoffs and share the stage with some of the fans too. I think that will be cool for everyone, one of us and stuff, and for me it will be especially, like, I am playing the French org. For me, like, it's a really exciting tournament, I think.
I moved to Paris when I was 7 years old, and growing up in Paris, like, I think has been a chance for me, because I don't think I would be there today if I didn't, like, if my mom didn't move to France. And as I say that, like, yeah, I'm grateful for everything, you know, like, I'm trying to stay humble, like, work hard, prove by what I'm doing every day.
Our group is definitely the strongest, but I don't know, I feel like it's also probably the most exciting to watch. We have a lot of fans here and stuff, so again, it will be cool to play in front of them and just feel the support in person to French fans, especially when I'm watching like different esports and stuff. The crowd is usually like really good. Game by game, we have first Casey, and then we'll see like who will play next. It will just be fun to see it.
I wish it would have been like with the crowds. Unfortunately, the first game there's no crowds. But I wish there was a crowd, because there's gonna be Vitality fans against KC fans. It would have been so good. But it's fine. Still, it's gonna be an amazing match.
Yeah, so we just wait. Who do you think will win? It's loading again. Oh my god. Why is this like that? No, hello. Hi. There's an odd playing.
All right, we're back from the break here at the Esports World Cup 2026, kicking off with Valorant. Just running through a couple little teething issues here on the stage before we kick off RRQ versus 100 Thieves. The start here of Group A, I believe it is, on the B stream. Got a little bit of a banger game. Of course, Americas versus Pacific and Americas versus Pacific on the cast. Whichever one of us will perform better or worse will get replaced later. It's definitely not already decided.
Yeah, no, it's not decided on rotation. We actually, whoever performs, not only do they have to get off the cast if you lose, you also have to just leave and leave Paris completely. So it's kind of insane.
I'm packing as many croissants into my suitcase as I can. They're pretty light. I can get a lot in there.
True.
Maybe I have
You squish them up, make a nice little
Probably
stack.
that probably ruins it.
Yeah,
There's
it
someone
ruined the
who's done
croissant.
that, and I'm sure a lot of French people are mad about it.
Definitely. But while we're talking about French, we're going to be talking about Paris, because this has been such a beautiful city to host this event in so far. And again, just to reiterate, the prize pool, $2 million prize pool, first place going home with a big chunk of that money. They've increased the money. They've made it BO3 matches at the beginning. And so this is a huge event that we're here for, and we're so excited for, especially with this matchup today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a bit more of a condensed format last year. This year, they definitely are starting to flesh things out a little bit more. As mentioned before, the best of threes is going to be huge for the players. I think it's going to allow them and the teams to really shine. You mentioned the vetoes and things like that, but also just getting more reps at an international event. I mean, I'm from Oceania, so I'm used to going to an international event, or at least supporting a team at an international event. Being the 16th seed,
Okay,
you
humble
verse
brag.
the first seed, and you get banged in a best of one, and then you go home for 20, 30 hours. So sometimes that's how it be. At this event, not the case. You get to play at least one best of three, multiple best of threes. You've got the GSL format, upper lower bracket. We're not playing round robin or any of that nonsense. And we're just going to go and send the 2 teams from each groups into the playoffs.
Yep. Sounds great to me. And for those of you that are just jumping in, it is 100 Thieves versus RRQ on this stream. And we've talked a lot about both these teams, talking about how they're both powerhouses in their own way, and a little bit about the vetoes. And while we're just getting things started here, I wanted to talk a little bit more about 100 Thieves. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that I would have wanted to talk about 100 Thieves? But they've been so phenomenal. But I don't know. That caught me off guard.
You know, they tend to like to keep it pretty vanilla. Of course, they have their own flavor of things that they like to do. We have already
As
seen.
they've just picked Sage and Veto on a sun.
Pacific is a wild place. Okay, I know
You can't say that in a safe
in Americas, they go, oh my god, they changed one Asian. Wow,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a
really
big
creative.
deal.
In Pacific, we're picking 3 to 5 duelists sometimes.
We go on strat roulette and we spin a wheel for a
yeah,
duel.
I mean, RRQ. The thing is, RRQ stylistically would probably be considered a bit more of a vanilla team, because I think a lot of people who don't watch the region might regard Pacific as like every team just runs it down. RRQ definitely plays a lot more like a European or an American team. They play a slower pace. They mid-round a lot.
Yeah.
They don't just play 30-second, site exec simulator. They definitely do kind of work the map a little bit. They try to be a bit clever with the calling. They try to have some decent amount of prep. Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting thing to kind of be tackling stylistically against a team like 100 Thieves. And I think in general, that's kind of my own opinion about why sometimes RRQ might struggle at internationals, because they often try to play, like they're playing a team like Fnatic and they're like playing a slower style. And it's like, we're just kind of doing what you're doing, but maybe a little worse sometimes. Although they have had some very close maps. But in Pacific, I mean, they very much are the team where they do like to slow down the mid-rounding a little bit more. They do like to mix up the pacing, as opposed to some of the other teams that are a bit quicker. Your Paper X's, your full sensors, things like that. They like to send it a bit more.
Yeah, I think for 100 Thieves, they've definitely done a good job at balancing both those things. Being able to play somewhat aggressive when they need to be, especially when you're looking at how they were playing versus Loud, which Loud is known to be super phenomenal with their fragging power. Players like Luxo just going out there, trying to get as many picks as possible, but 100 Thieves were able to shut that down. They're so good at being able to play back when they need to, being able to just be aggressive, and maybe running it down is the strat to do. They've done so such a good job, and a really big props to Vora because his IGLing, his mid round has been phenomenal as well. I feel like he's really driven this team to success. And for me, when I'm looking at the coach and IGL synergy, Vora and his coach have been so good at understanding each other, building these playbooks, building these strats, having such a deep map pool, but seeing that in the server, nobody's actually lost or confused or overwhelmed with what they want to do. So I think for me, from 100 Thieves, that's why I keep talking about their creativity. It goes way beyond through the relationships, not just in the server, but also outside of it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of overlap, honestly. If you just discuss both of these teams and say what their strengths and weaknesses are, you know, you talk about having a strong mid-round caller, you talk about having a bit of a slower paced, you know, maybe baity at times star player that likes to just let the game come to them, evolving a core gradually, incrementally over time. I think that's the same thing for RRQ. They've had a certain core of players. Xfer has been around since literally the inception of Pacific franchising as the centerpiece of RRQ. Then you had Chemkin, you had Crazy Guy come in a little bit more recently than that. Similar to 100 Thieves, you've got some players that have been around since the very beginning, and they've kind of incrementally built the roster around them over time, changing in 1 or 2 players at a time over seasons until they end up with their current iteration. So I think both of these teams, as mentioned before, maybe falling a little shy of some international qualifications. This event is a good opportunity to prove themselves against the global field.
Yeah, and as much as 100 Thieves have these veterans, you've talked about the globals, you've talked about the stages. This is the first time that 100 Thieves, at least this iteration of the roster, has gone to a global, has played on a global stage. So I'm really interested to see how they face up to that. Is there going to be a shift in mentality? Is there going to be a little bit more pressure? I'm looking at a player like Timotino, who's just come up from challengers into this roster. This has been his first time in the VCT. This has been his first roster, and he's performed absolutely phenomenally. It took him a little bit of time to warm up at the beginning of kickoff, but he's done such a good job. He's blossomed into a very well-rounded duelist player, someone who does his job really well, pulling those crosshairs, not necessarily constantly fragging out, but being able to do that job, get the movement in there, open up and make the space for the rest of his team. So I'm still, it's honestly still a question mark for me how they're going to perform. I'm thinking, if I'm thinking of the VCT Americas 100 Thieves, then 100% I understand where they are. I know who they are. I've seen them play. They're so phenomenal. But when it's moving to a different style, it's kind of going to be interesting to see how they do on the global stage. But that being said, we still have a couple more things to work on. And before we jump into the game, we're going to go into a quick break.
Okay, another quick break. We have to be patient here. I think they're gonna start at exactly 8 p.m. We'll be back soon. Okay. Wait, no. Someone shouting me. How do I verify this? Settings, phone number. Issue account in settings page. Security and privacy. I got it. What the? Okay. Routine notifications. Okay. Connections. Why am I here? Oh no. Hold on, I cannot. I just can't. Moderators. Broadcasting. Chat, go to streaming. No, we have to watch 100 years versus RRQ, okay? There's no option to post it. Oh my god. Okay. Let me just spin my sister. I'm gonna invite them to watch my stream because, you know, I need viewers. But yeah, I know I'm boring, but still, yeah. Should I create another pub mod? But I don't have time for that. Though. So I'll just also expose. Congrats! Thank you. Oh, my brother actually reacted hard to my post on Facebook page. Game is starting in a few. So, 100 keys versus I do have just one streaming asset. Let me just check it. Streamer. Wait, I totally forgot to add hashtag. 6. Yeah, we go. What's this? Verify, let me know. Right. Requires phone verification. How do I change that? Hold on. Hold on, let me just fix my chat settings. Where do I fix that? Join security should be on secure. Wait, my links here are not updated at all. It's updated. Facebook should be this one. Okay, and then what else? And I will be. And video player plan. Schedule. Featured content. Rewards drop. The drops now. Turn on the blah 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 blah. Okay. I can't find it. Where do I fix my chat setting? I want to enable everyone to be able to comment on my stream. Oh, I can do this. Yeah, I have the link to Instagram. Hold on. And then moderation, maybe? Chat permissions. Oh yeah, I saw it now. No. I just verify email. Is this like autosave? I think so. Wonderful. Let's go. Okay. There's another ad. Oh my god, it's 3 minutes long. Okay. It's a bit long. It's so long. You can make us wrong. So while we're waiting for the ads, I'm gonna sing you a song. Can make you smile wherever you want. That's it. Um, Oh, finally, we're done with the ads. Group me, this is two. Okay. Then tomorrow, I wanna watch. Hold G2! And maybe EWC? I'm not sure. Anthony said you're gonna win the match. Oh really? Hi to my best team. I miss you, kiss. Okay, I'll just sing you a song while we're waiting. What song should I sing? I can sing OPM. Wax. Okay. Nice. What then? Okay. OPM song. English. Because 2026. No, I'm not a player. Oh my god, the score for BBL versus EDG is now 7-4. Yet 100 Thieves versus RRQ has not yet started. Ah, this is a bit crazy, huh? Too much waiting time. Maybe we should just play Minecraft first. Hmm. Commercial break again. 3-minute commercial break again.
how he should be playing. Well, for BBL, double digits if they can take this round. They've invested decently. 3 rifles, a Guardian, which is another rifle. I say rifles, I mean these ones. The big boys. Vandal up close, not good for nobody. Caught pulling it out, and Loida gets an
waiting for you. Make you smile and every side. And you know your face is bad. All I wanna do is do all we do. And if you never see when I'm loving years, you'll find the fire's bright. Could be so nice, doing all we do. I'll miss you, kiss you, give you my cold when you're cold. Keep you, faithful. You feel like a home and I make you smile and every sound. Girl, girl, when your face is bad, all I want to do is grow with you. Okay, okay. Dun, 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 dun. What the heck? I think there's technical issues happening now on 100 pips versus or cube game. That's why I haven't started yet. Yeah, just my theory. You smile whenever you. Oh my god, another 3-minute commercial break. I don't know what to do with this commercial break because I don't have turbo. How much is the turbo, by the way? Okay. No, so expensive. Which level? What's this? Okay. EWC. Hmm. What the heck? Wow, so cute. I'm gonna check the other streamers stream. Yeah, let me watch this. Wow. She has turning rules. Okay. I wanna buy that. Let me just search for that since we're not watching anything. Or should we just watch first the EDG? The EDG game. Yeah? We should, right? Hold on. Because you're streaming for about how long? Can't find it. Yeah? For 1 hour and we're not watching anything? So yeah, let's just switch to EDG. Hold on. Where's the channel for EDG? Yeah, here. Okay. Let's watch this one.
He's dealing with one, but still a man advantage for BBL.
Finally!
Now the time is ticking in their
Oh
favor.
my god, I should have
They're
done
using
this sooner.
everything This is literally just blitz all your ultimates at once
Literally
to
waited for
try
a
and scrape your way through a round. This is a must win now for
100th
BBL. They'll
game.
have nothing into the next, but they are taking this one home. Signed, the stand-in, the coach in a 1v4, and with the credits desperately low.
Okay.
Not
let's
today.
go.
Now listen, maybe he'll be a replacement on the main roster if he wins this one. You can see him already leaving to the other side of the map, fleeing for the save. 12 for BBL. At long last, it felt like an inevitability 6 rounds ago, and yet it has been a good streak from EDG.
But that's not
BBL
recreatable at all. Like, you can't
That was
use
a big ult on.
3 high-impact ults in one round. And okay,
What's
sure, Laurent got
BBL?
the opening anyway, but the showstopper definitely helped get rid of Chichu. And okay, I'll say that the Steel Garden didn't really do
BBL
anything other
is
than slow
what?
one player down at least a little bit.
What region?
But it has also put the economy on the back burner a little bit for EDG. No operator on their side. In fact, it's Lover's Rock. Now, they do have a Blade Storm. That's going to help, but there are definitely pieces missing here and there. And an immediate 4-player aggression. Kankan 1-for-1. The nade won't quite kill off Loiter. And after seeing that many players, surely that's an immediate response from the attack to go back the other way.
Kankan's dealt with. Chichu still alive, and with the TP as well. He can move to this A site if noise is heard, but Sign not yet getting the read, and the push coming his way. Now a lot of utilities making its way in, and in a moment's time, you're going to see Lover's Rock looking for that opening on the up for Sign. Oh, yeah, I think he's going to walk into it. Oh, no!
Nice.
Lover's Rock walks into him. Great shot from everybody on EDG. They have shut down that push. The danger averted.
Let's go.
12 to
Still
11. We're
winnable for
going the
EDG.
distance no matter what.
Yeah, so I mentioned it. You get rid of the ultimates, and that round, even the last one might have not gone their way. And now,
Oh my god. Here we go with my internet
that
issue.
is not how they would have hoped for that one to go. The individual stepping up. That's it. Signed 12 and 14 right now. He's holding his own within the server. A man that was playing in the Ascension system last year. So as I said, it's not like he is way out there of a player who's not ready to jump into the server, but it's still a lot of pressure going up against BBL, some of the best aimers you'll ever see, and while they're going to try and play off that now, Lover's Rock immediately with an opener. The trades were going their way, but they're signed. He's now leveled up. 14 to 14. At OT, well, it almost feels inevitable at this stage.
Loida might be able to get some work done, but nobody is
Okay.
sneaking up on his left,
then
and he has no
we're going to
idea.
have
Great shot
Sign.
from nobody, and with
Yay!
Signed on a 3K
So.
overtime, locked
Not the
in.
same,
EDG. They, like, I can't stress enough how out of this game they looked at a certain point.
Yeah.
The mistakes they were making were unforgivable. Like, for BBL, I could see a world where they win this, where they even look dominant on any map because they have the individuals coming out the gate, shredding. That wasn't the case. It was mistakes on the other side, and now that EDG have tightened up the game, it's looking a whole lot better.
I want to go the other way with it. BBL win both pistols. They win, I think, 2 rounds off of straight BS.
Yep.
And now they've gone to OT.
Yep.
This is a choke and a half. Like, they were handed the map,
Also,
and now they are in overtime. Like, the pressure is severely on them. I don't think EDG could have given them anything more to take this game over the line. If they lose from here, I'm not going to lie, it's a little embarrassing.
yeah, you come into a set then with a different mind frame than the quasi advantage you might have thought of for BBL earlier, that hometown hero when it comes to the 82nd province of Turkey. But you come in after a loss like this, and I'm not sure that matters at all. Confidence will take a knock for EDG. A slow start to this attack side. They've seen so many aggressive rounds out of BBL. Think about that C push especially that had a lot of success for the defense. So they wait. And now, push comes to shove. And that was very dangerous. The spike was involved in that fight, but it does make it out. Man advantage. Jenny, they know he's tucked in the corner, and they want to deal with him. That's a bold play.
Can't go with an attack side operator. He really has not been missing. He's got one every single time. It's only if there's someone ready and raring to trade him. Walk back. Not going to be caught. EG have just completely paused. They have left their opponents with little to no information. The corner being flashed, by the way, just to make sure there's nobody there. Rhodes is already dead. They were still wary that there could be a second. But now with a plant, And an advantage extending even further. The lead looking like it's going to be taken. And the Hubert Kankan, you know he's not going to miss that shot. Lovers Rock needs to try and recreate it. And it is all but over. 13 to 12 now. EDG, after being at an insane deficit, now on map point.
And even this defensive round, it doesn't have that same flair as what we saw in the first half. The pressure they were putting on in the extremities, the early fights that were going their way every time. And now, the shoe's on the other foot. It seems like EDG have the plot armor. They have managed to bounce back from a huge deficit and delete all of those silly little mistakes that were there. That quick of a turnaround is impressive, but it's also what you expect from a squad like this. As said, with this stand-in, I expect them to get better and better with every map under their belt. I didn't think it would be every half under their belt. A chance for 14 to close the map here and go on to a set. EDG's map pick, and often a hometown map for any Turkish team. Go in there after dealing a blow like this. That'll be a huge advantage. I think they just noticed he knifed the Prowler. It might be Concom with the op. Why wouldn't he shoot it? Okay, let's go the other way.
The attack side going to try and take back that space towards C. Kankan in position once again, and of course he doesn't miss the shot.
Oops.
Leaves them a man down, and the C site executes failing, but with the opener onto nobody, that definitely makes things a lot more interesting. The A site is completely under their control. Before they'd had signed on that side of the map. This gives BBL a pretty good opportunity.
Plant coming through. Going to be onto Larocque. Still 2 away from that showstopper after the plant. And look who's sneaking his way in. Chichu's gone for the spam. It looked like it was on for the start.
Okay.
An immediate swap from Kankan. He shoots, drops his weapon, and goes in for the fight, but that's not going to work. And with him taken out, the rest of the squad a little bit further behind, and a showstopper now online. The round is tied up in a neat bow. BBL not going to let this one slip just yet, and they'll get another chance at that defense.
The back and forth continues. A much needed one as well. I feel like that resets this into an even playing field once again. I was just worried they were going to completely fall out of the map after it coming all the way back to overtime. But it seems like BBL still have some fight within them. No surprise that Kankan's invested back into that operator once again. The defenders looking to re-aggress towards that seaside, but Kankan is waiting. This time not missing the shot, but he has missed 2 players already on the walk-up.
Nice one, Wade.
Same space take from BBL. This time without the C's in play. A little bit of a different layer to hopefully allow them to push through, to give Lovers Rock the chance to clean house. On the other side of the map is where EDG are focused. Spike outside A. A jump spot that they're hearing every couple of seconds. But they don't know about Rose. BBL are setting traps on each extremity. Finally, Lovers Rock has walked up. He's hearing the steps into B now. He knows the play, and they are none the wiser. But the shots don't land. That was a huge play, perhaps round winning. The BBL are going to have to find something else to fight with.
They can't keep up that fight. Means there's no longer going to be a flank. The paranoia is perfect, though. That's the advantage.
Signed?
Nobody waiting in position. Kraven, however, catching. This is looking like a round set up for victory. But still, Kankan and Chichu wait, but it's a missed shot. An uncharacteristic one at that, and a flawless defensive side round coming out of the side for BBL. They need one more attack side round, and they'll finally close out the map that they started.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be the blowout victory that it looked like. A complete mismatch in that first half. But the same can be said when you look at EDG's play in the second. For BBL, this is the chance to take it home. The attack side's being kind to them in that last overtime. It was Larocque having a fantastic round. Finding that showstopper online to close it out. It looks like they will put a lot of focus towards this left side of the map. 2 players outside B, maybe 3. We could see that door swing open and an immediate challenge at the C site.
swap up. Where we've seen Sign playing a nice shot from nobody off rip, but they're still continuing the walk up, and Jenny's just waiting on the cross. All too easy for those initial openers, and losing 2 personnel off rip. You almost feel like it needs to be a mistake for somebody over on the EDG side if they're going to turn this round back.
Oh yeah, they'd have to trade out the mistakes made by BBL.
Oh.
Yeah, you're just about going to survive that on 1 HP.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Concon goes
I was
back.
about to say, Concon doesn't miss.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. He hit both shots. And now Sign, waiting on the side. Flash for him to swing as well. He doesn't swing. He plays it patient, plays it slow. Maybe that's a mistake. No, but he now dropped, and Sign under pressure from that right side. The off of Lover's Rock. Now all eggs in that basket. Good damage done, but whoa, it's a bit shaky. They get there. 14-14. Another overtime needed.
Yeah, just bear in mind, guys, this is map 1 of the entire tournament. It feels like we could be in for the long haul here.
You have to wonder, though, how the hell did nobody get a kill and get out when 3 players were looking at him? What the hell were they thinking then? Shift walking through. That was like 2 seconds later. Where do you think nobody's gone? And it wasn't even him.
No,
They've got
that was
another
what it is. They
teammate.
looked and they were like, oh, nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
14-14. Concon Orp survives, but not been purchased up on the other side. Seeming like both teams have now found their rhythm, but only one can take this map over the line. The map choice of BBL. Definitely feeling a little bit more tentative than what we'd seen so far in this map. Less fast-paced rounds, patient stuff, and this has been a big point of contact. Kreven just spams into the smoke again. There seems to be a regular occurrence of just players picking a timing, spamming, and almost getting a kill.
A minute on the clock. And EDG still spread thin. The spike was alone outside B, but now it's regrouped. Okay, danger's averted, but the problem is this bait setup. We saw it before from BBL. The jump spot's there from Loida. He
just
sees
swings
them and hits the paranoia, but instead he swings out wide. Now goes down. Rose has to have a sensational performance. It's a bit shaky. Could have been 2, but 1 found. At least for BBL, it's just a 1-man disadvantage, and they've got the rotates in just in time. Lover's Rock and Kreven are here to hold the line. The early flank from LaRock, but Concon just keeps ripping them to shreds. It's EDG with the lead again, and another chance to close this out.
He's just been getting better and better as the map goes on. Like I've been saying, it's a lot of the time it's been one and dones. This is him finding a player with a classic, walking into the site with an operator, finding another couple, and then closing it with a blade storm. The better this guy gets, the scarier things become. By the way, you remember when Chichu was like miles ahead of the top of the board? He's now third.
Concon was 15-15.
Still hasn't started.
He's had a little bit of an awakening.
Yeah.
A small amount. And it is scary to be in BBL's camp right now. The attack side having to be mounted again. That spam was decent. The Rock tagged up. No more bullets fired. He'll survive that engagement. Oh my god, Lover's Rock is going so fast. And he's caught Chichu completely off guard. And another under Lover's Rock belt. How has he gotten away with it? Now pushing in for more. A third will be found. This one not quite caught off guard. And that makes it even more impressive. Concon, yeah, he has had an awakening. But this might put him back to sleep. A 1v4 with an op. You gotta think he's got no chance.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have the shields to play with, so can't even take the additional little bit of tickle damage. Like, I think he's just waiting to say, okay, surely someone gets greedy. Someone starts looking and hunting for an additional kill. They do not. He's still going to get one. Again, it just seems so clean with it, but this is just stat padding at this point, and eventually Lover's Rock will close out with a 4K. It's almost identical to the last round. A duelist with a 4K closing out the round, and we are about to head into round number 31. Map 1. The entirety of the tournament is going the distance. But eventually, or at least I hope, we do have to find a winner.
You'd think so. Tom, we've had some long games in our past. We've had some lengthy affairs.
Yeah. BBL were one of them.
Yes, they were.
Not this iteration of it, but It was BBL. I'm hoping they're not going to do that again, especially with Ascent coming up next. The opportunity for it to maybe even be even longer, but we're going to see ourselves a timeout taken, a chance to talk through with the coaching staff once again. Of course, Key was pretty much trying to stem the bleeding all the way through that comeback from EDG, and he failed to do so. It's now whether or not he can find that little piece of magic. We've seen a lot of the attack side rounds that sort of defaults into the pace he hits have been what has worked for either side. And with both star duelists stepping up over the last couple of rounds, and we always talk about it, the rest of regulation becomes irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you got 30 kills or you got 2. If you can win an OT round for your team, that's all that matters at this stage. And well, thankfully we don't have anybody in the server with 2 kills. It is a decent spread with both IGLs clearly having to work overtime. And Larocque going into OT has bought a judge.
Naturally, and he's going to find success with it as well. Now, if Jenny hasn't just hit his desk, I think that's what I heard, then I'll be very surprised. That's an upsetting way to have the OT round kick off right after the pause. EDG down a man, attempting to take some space on site. Chichu has a nice paranoia lined up, but it hasn't caught Krev, and he's stood up on top of the wall, and he's been spotted, but the blind was good in return. Krevin's found himself too. Sign surrounded is dealt with, and BBL on 16.
Yeah, I think that might have actually been a coach adaptation. They've been walking into that smoke, tripping the wall. Sometimes you've had IGL Rose in that smoke, waiting for them to come through. They killed him. This time you just put a judge there. You walk into that smoke, you're dead to rights, and then they have the players ready and waiting. Solid paranoia coming through from Loiter as well to help out his teammate. And then Kreven just landing the shots as he always does. 16 to 15. As said, we've seen these constant back and forths. In fact, we're creating a parallel timeline at the moment, but that means this time we need a defensive round from EDG to keep this one going.
Well, Concon's been the one to find success, and again, he's walking about, pushing up on B to start with the flash blind, and so he knows there's someone here. Instead of continuing, he will wait.
Oh, he does
miss.
miss.
But this one, an uncharacteristic miss in a very crucial round. He goes in for more and misses once more. This could be it. EDG have lost one big player, the top fragger on the server, down and out. Jenny tries to pull it back, but he's traded, and Lover's Rock finding sign seems to have sealed the deal. The A site, the plant on its way. And nobody in Chichu, all that stands against them. Nobody's had a tough game, but he stepped up in the moments where it mattered. And Chichu, well, he was on a tear. When this team was down and out of this map, he pulled them back in so many of those rounds in regulation. Now they have to do it again.
This is still so tough to break in on. Flash, ready and raring to go.
Yeah,
on the other side of things, the walk up at least, but it's been pinged. They have an idea that somebody could be going through. Never mind.
Okay.
Chichu made it past. Loiter's position, though. Are they aware that there could be a player over towards the box, trying to create a crossfire, trying to force someone into a peek, and that's what they've done. Chichu, once again, his opponent TP, and they are going to turn it back. The time looking like it's going to be enough as well. That is insanity from the side of EDG. How have they pulled back that 2v4?
I said it, and nobody's been there in the crucial moments, and Chichu, again and again, he is digging deep for this team. Everyone talks about Concon, and for good reason, but this guy's been the highlight. Look at him go.
That's my brother.
How many? Quiet as well, though. That's the crazy thing. He had like 20, or was it 17 kills in the first half.
Yes.
Went missing for a bit, and then goes, oh, you guys need me again. Cool.
It was like those last 5 rounds of the second half turned it up to another level to keep them alive, and he's done it again. Map point. And up against BBL going into Ascent. God, that could be series. But now, EDG, they get another chance at this attack side. Fight straight into C. They're wasting no time on this run. And indeed, wasting bodies case. Concon, he's found his first already. Rose catches. Oh, he doesn't catch the wraparound. Jenny's left on 7 HP somehow.
Maybe it's Loiter's turn. Chichu, the man up against him, looking for the fight, and he'll win it again, no doubt about it. It's left all onto Lover's Rock. This is not the gun you want to have in this scenario.
He only has OP, so... Not winnable.
Well, nobody's
Not
there to
winnable
close
for
it
that
out.
round.
Swings and roundabouts once again, the back and forth of this game. Guess what?
Wow.
EDG have another
Super close
at point.
I can't believe Jenny just survived there. Rose was on his tail.
Girls kind
Jenny
of
was blinded up, looking the wrong way, took a few shots, not even knowing from where,
EDG.
and ends up surviving on 7 HP.
Oh,
That's the
look at
face
the
of a man who
frustration.
knows that should have been his kill, but also who knows this map is slipping away now. EDG 17-16. It's a matter of time before we see 2 in a row. In the
Is
same
it?
overtime.
Is it?
I mean,
Is it?
30 and 31 technically, but they were different OTs. You know what I mean. And for EDG, this could be it. They dealt with Concon early last time. And this time, another missed shot. But that was a harder one.
Oh, already a much faster paced take, but it's a ruse. It's a bait.
Okay.
They're pushing them in towards
So now it's a
Sign, who's
battle
ready
of,
and waiting, but already getting smoked off.
I don't
Chichu
know.
also with paranoia,
No.
but I think they're past it. They are past it. A little bit further ahead than maybe he's expecting. One of the danger men gone.
You have to be
a
killed
post-spawn
proof.
once more. But if you could
Thank
lose a
you.
2v4, you could definitely lose a
You need to have a name.
4v5, sorry. And well,
You have to be
let's
killed
even
proof.
things up once again.
That was what should have won them the round. Leaving Lovers Rock behind Rubble, but nobody cleared
Patience,
it.
my
Nobody
guy.
checked for it, and now they can
Look
make
for
the
the
way
port.
back to the site. Hard to
Come
find
on,
value with the
God.
up breaking
One
through, but he
with the
finds it in the
leader,
choke
got
points.
two.
With the rock down, it's
And-
Rose left, and not for long. EDG, they dug
Finally,
deep
end
and
of map
delivered
one.
map
EDG
number
got it.
1.
Let's go.
It's insanity. I don't think I've ever seen anybody with an
So,
operator
let's just check
get that
whether
many
the other streams-
kills with that position. It makes no sense that Concon is just able to sit there like a turret from above. And for BBL, this is a brutal defeat. You were so
Wow.
far in the lead. You took double
Well,
pauses in the space
wow.
of 3 rounds. That is crazy. Nonetheless, we're going back to Digon and the desk.
Thank you very much, Tom and Mitch. That was crazy to have that happen like that. Just insane. We're getting ourselves free Valorant off the top. I know that we
He
had
has
the
a
pause to
different,
kick things off, but we
hairstyle
basically
today,
had
right?
half a game right off of
Haven't
that
watched
one.
esports
Welcome back to
for
Desk Digon
like,
here alongside
1 year?
Kukuka and Big Time.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to
since I
have
got
our
laid off,
first round
esports.
of Valorant here at EWC.
Didn't have the
I mean,
time
welcome to
to
EWC,
actually
people.
watch
I mean, this tournament has gone
esports
in with a
so-
bang. It was absolutely unbelievable.
I'm not-
I think
I'm
BBL are
not
going
too
to be
updated
so
with the
upset
roster
about how that
updates,
game
with the
turned
teams
out.
and all.
They had every advantage.
Every
Their
single
map
thing.
pick, 2
Masyado
pistols,
volume
a
na watch
bonus,
party
a
ko,
ninja
maraming
diffuse
boss
for crying out loud.
Ninja diffuse was
Oh, man.
unreal, and also is by the hands of Lovers Rock. We were speaking about him going on the Neon. He wanted to go face to face against Kankan, and every single time that Kankan was getting around for EDG in an impressive
just
manner,
adjust the-
Lovers Rock
Is
was
this
like,
better
I can
now?
do
Hello?
that too. I can do that too. I'm going to
Hello,
show you
hello,
how."
hello? Is this
Crazy
better
the
now?
fact that we got there onto the overtime, and also we were saying about EDG and playing in with a sub. I think that Tom and Mitch were doing a very good job highlighting some of the mistakes, but also the way they bounce back. Some of the players, like some of the individual plays that we have seen just during this first map of EWC, have been unreal.
Yeah, I mean, you got to talk about Kankang. He is the guy for EDG. He always has been, and he has a very slow first half. You know, he's down there towards the bottom of the scoreboard.
I'm
He's
actually
missing
not
shots. You see the way
too
he
familiar
plays. You
with
see the rest of
BBL
the team
esports
come
because
alive around that. I felt like their
the
defensive
things
side
that I
map
know
was
are
so
those
solid
like
as well.
Underworld
And that's
Gaming,
what got them
Wonder
back into the game. So
Thieves.
also credit to Sign. He's on the
I think BBL is EMEA.
I think
Am I
no doubt
correct?
they
Let me
deserve
just
that map.
check
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. It was towards the end of that first
BBL
half where the
is-
score was heavily in favor of BBL. That Kankan was
Yeah.
What if I grab the operator? I know that one of the
EMEA.
first when you're losing
Yeah,
somebody
I'm not
else,
too
it's very
familiar with
difficult to
EMEA,
even think of
please.
like a tool that is so expensive but so effective in so many maps that we have seen across the entirety of Valorant, having that attacking
That's
operator.
why.
That actually, I think, mentally got to bounce back, because we were talking about the teams being here.
Yep.
And
For me, I
the
only know all
I
Fnatic
have never, and I am from
and
EMEA, heard
Carmen Corp.
scream
Yeah.
the way that he was
Those
screaming
famous
at them.
things.
The rest we see sometimes here and there, but look, just kind of like a good boy, you know?
Yeah, let's take a look at some of those highlights here, because again, the gameplay required the pop-offs that came out there, especially in overtime. EDG started getting loud, BBL started matching, and then every single round, especially that 2v4 later on, that was game-saving by EDG. And remember, this was BBL's map pick, and we talked about coming into it, the 4 form of these two squads. Will BBL be able to stand up to EDG, who has been doing well lately? They come out on fire and just aren't able to close it on out as we take a look at some of the big moments.
I mean, we have to say it once again. ETG have a sub here. This isn't even their full strength roster, and they just won what seemed like an unwinnable map. The level of composure that they have is insane.
I also want to highlight Jenny. We were speaking about him going back on the duelist. Some of those showstoppers, I feel like we were seeing it every couple of rounds. Some of them were so impactful. The kills across the smokes, having those kind of preparations, they're so important right now. You know, you play the Phantom, you have to spam those smokes, especially the way the BBL were playing. Honestly, the highlight for me was the entirety of the match. I know that it was very of the map. I know that it was very long, you know, but I feel like everybody had their moments to shine. Like that clutch where Kreven was in, where he was 1 kill away from getting like I think it was a 1v4. Were absolutely insane rounds. And if the rest of the tournament is going to be like this, I mean, the bar is already incredibly high for the rest of the teams.
Yeah, I think one thing that jumps out at me is the pause that was used in overtime, the timeout that was used in overtime by BBL to make the adjustment on the C push, where it's like, all right, we're going to sit back with the judge. You can see every single person, not just the players, the coaching staff as well, on point here, because it is so important in this group stage to work your way on out, get that first win.
Yeah, I can't believe this is map 1 of the tournament. This is the type of map that makes you love Valorant when you get into it. The tactics on both sides, the shooting, the individual brilliance of a lot of these players.
Let's check the other
just coming
stream.
to shine.
Yeah!
Now as we move towards Ascent,
The 100 Thieves versus RRQ game hasn't started until now. Oh my god, it's been like forever. Are they going to even start? Anyway, let's just enjoy EDG versus BBL, even though
and especially considering that both Kankang and
I want to watch 100 Thieves game.
Into the operator, really looking forward to see both approaches from the teams, because we did see BBL play in Ascent during the qualifiers, and we saw them playing with the deadlock. I want to see if we're going to see that again. And most importantly, what is ETG going to be doing? Are we going to see something very vanilla, very boring? Probably because of the situation that they're in. Actually, that calls for both of them. Like, what would you do? Because you have experience coaching. Okay, so what would you do? Would you go for? Sorry, would you go for? Okay, we're gonna play it simple because we're playing with a sub, or let's go with something spicy. They're not gonna expect it.
I know that they got something spicy. I want to see them take risks here. This is game 1. You know, I think you have a little bit of time to experiment. It is that GSL format, and you're a map up. So you know, they can play that kind of pretty standard, boring comps, but I don't want to see that. The one thing I do want to see is Kankang on the jet. If he's on anything but the jet, I will storm that stage myself. And
what if it's a chamber?
Oh, okay. You've convinced. I can see chamber.
Would you be down? I know that it calls for a jet because it's Kankang. Like also like he holds everything. What about cheeky Yoru?
No.
No.
You lost me there.
Didn't we talk about it? The Yoru was one of the reasons why EDG started struggling a little bit. The meta moved away from that.
But that's exactly something that they're not going to expect. But you are right.
I mean, they won't expect it. We won't expect it.
Well, again, this is the 4th most played map here for EDG on Ascent. I feel for BBL because they had him on the ropes, right? You were just a couple of rounds away. You had so many in the pocket. They tried to call it a timeout at 11-8 to be like, hey, let's settle down. EDG's warming up a little bit, but we have so many rounds in the pocket from the first half. We should be able to close it on out. What's the mentality of a squad like that who had success early on in the league year and now are starting to struggle a little bit?
I mean, you got to find a way to not doubt yourself. You know, we've seen the PRX players talk about this in the past. You got to have that short-term memory loss. You've got to have that goldfish memory. You got to be able to put these behind you because they know that they played well enough to win that game. It wasn't a question of the level of Valorant. It's a question of composure.
Right.
And we know, we've seen them have success over in EMEA. It's not like it's not like they're known to crumble. They just have to remind themselves that they are good enough. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of that stage. It doesn't matter that they're world champions. You're capable to win this game if you play the way you can.
I think that we can also think about how aggressive they were from the defense, especially here on Lotus, and how much are they going to learn about how that worked out, because that aggression on the defense that gave them so much, like even when they got a pick, sometimes the overheating was there, and they need to learn to get composure in those kind of situations, because also it translated to the attack, making a lot of unforced mistakes.
Yeah, well, we are underway here in Paris. The champions of China take the first map, but BBL will battle back here on Ascent. Don't go anywhere. You're watching EWC 2026.
Stream manager. I was thinking to cut my stream right now, and then I'll just go back for PRX game. Count
it becomes
time.
our superpower.
If it's 13, is
Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it.
Like
Kadir City, powered by play.
We were there.
I cannot compute. My math is not matching.
Every respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
Oh yeah! So yeah, I'll just go back at 12 midnight, I guess. So if they're going to start, I think the stream will be delayed and cannot like really follow the scheduled time, because right now for EDG versus BBL, they only they're only done with the first map. It's 9, then 2 maps more, 10, 11, yeah. I can just go back for the PRX later at home. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. So I'm gonna stop the stream right now. And thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your time. See you later.
And Big Time, and yet again we're back. It's EDG.